Plug in your power cord, add your Galaxy Watch charger, push the button, and mount your watch. Power. That's it. That's the whole thing. But the question remains why? Why add a power switch to an inductive charger? Let me tell you about that. Every morning I wake up, work out, shower off, make breakfast, then meditate. The astute observer will notice how close my Galaxy Watch charger is to the chair I use for doing so. Now the problem with that is the wall wart for my watch charger whines when it's on, and that doesn't give me peace and tranquility like this does when I'm trying to clear my head. Now I could go find a transformer that doesn't whine, but there's no fun in that. I like making things, and I want to try to add a switch to a ready-made product. Now this whole build's pretty easy. Got this latching push button here that uses a switch, some USB connectors with absolutely no documentation, so I go over to the reviews where I bought them from, and you can see this part right here. And I'm not sure I trust that pin layout, so I'm going to use my multimeter to test it. Leads over there, something like that, beep, and then I find out all they are, take that information down onto a terrible diagram in my journal, and now I gotta solder everything up. I'm Emerald Lagasse. Bam! Solder, solder, solder. Don't judge my middle solder point, I did this in like 2 minutes. Look at that! Lots of wiggly bits. Now that I've soldered up the breakout board, it's time to check the wiring diagram. We've got the power source over here, and the load on this side, which is going to be the watch charger. We're going to ignore this testing mess over here for a second. And there, got it. Push it on. Red light, off. Power, no power. Power, no power. Fantastic. The only crucial part of the soldering was making sure I correctly placed the mechanism through this steaming piece of turd CAD before I connected everything. Now I have these two wires that I'll solder onto this USB port and we'll close everything up. And if you've ever done any kind of 3D modeling before and claim you have no idea what I mean by turd CAD, you're a dirty liar. And here's the nearly finished mess. Why do I even make these things? Like, really? Was this enough of a reason? A button for an inductive charger? Seriously? Scratch that, forget I said anything. Who needs logic and reason when you're building stuff you like? Maybe you want a conveyor belt that can transport fried eggs directly to your bedside. Channel your inner Caractacus pots and make a Rube Goldberg machine out of it. Maybe a pitching machine that can shoot 10 balls every 5 seconds is more your style. Get after it! Wear a helmet, but build it! What better reason to build something than you yourself want to use it? Speaking of which, that egg conveyor and pitching machine idea, if you're wondering where they came from, they're things I desperately need in my life. A little bit of hot glue. All finished. Well, at least version 1. It's bigger than the charger itself. I don't think Samsung's going to be picking it up anytime soon. Alright, now that the project's complete, we can start the build press conference. You there, in the red. Yes, thank you for taking the time. Several questions. Number 1, is this useful for anyone? By my estimate, for about 99.8% of people, no. I assumed so. Why is it so chunky? Well, as you can see, I wanted a vertically actuated latching push button as the switch, and the only ones of those I could find were meant for cars. The smaller ones I ordered online just didn't fit my fingers. Understandable. Why is the light so dim? Yeah, I forgot to take into account the 5-volt output of the original transformer. With these switches running off of 12 volts normally, the LED was a little bit underpowered, but I fixed that behind the scenes, switched out the power supply for a 12-volt one, and I added a buck converter inside the device to later drop that 12 volts down to the 5 volts that the charger needs. Alright, well, good luck with that. Did you have any regrets over the course of the build? Yeah, I do. One comes to mind. When I did that tuck and roll off the chair, you might have seen the video shake a little bit, and that was because I actually did hit my head on a hardwood floor. That hurt a lot, and I kind of have a headache right now. That's all I had for you tonight. Thank you so much for your time. Of course, and thank you for having me. And that's it. Super simple build. I've wanted it for a time because despite having some mild tinnitus, I can still hear high-pitched whines, and that does make it difficult to zone out when I'm trying to meditate or fall asleep with this charger nearby. Now you may have noticed that this video had kind of a different style than my other ones. Here I focus more on the story and entertainment value, where previously I focused more on the build process. And while I like that, I get the feeling you can only watch me solder things and drill holes for so long before it kind of becomes boring. But you let me know what you think. Check out my other videos, compare them to this one, and let me know in the comments what you most enjoy and want to see more of. I also did this short build because I was waiting on parts for my next project, which should be out within a couple weeks. It's going to be more complex than this, kind of like my cornhole boards were, and I'm really looking forward to sharing it with you. It's a modern take on a beloved classic device. I really think you'll enjoy it. Please consider subscribing for more projects, and most importantly, thank you for watching. Every time, it just, you know, it really doesn't get easier when you're basically waterboarding yourself. Who would have thought? Sometimes I just question my ideals, and my ideas is what I meant to say, but yeah, my ideals as well. I am Steam Man. Fear me, for I will cloud your vision and burn your hands when you try to make pasta. Just gotta get myself into a tranquil position. I do this every day. Ow, I hit my head really hard on that one. Oh gosh, that hurt.